What is up, everybody? Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. And today let's continue with Chicane Online Racing. It is a racing league that I'm taking a part of. I'm still driving the manor. And today we are at the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix, the third round of this championship. And, well, I'm just going through the last corner just to post a flying lap. I'm not too happy with this flying lap as I post a 138.2. I know that I have a lot more to give in this car. And, well, I got P5 at the end of that lap, but now I am in P11. And eventually I will drop down even further down to P12, as you just saw there. And I will drop down to P13, I think, even before I go out for my second flying lap. So I know I have a lot to improve, so let's just move on into my second qualifying lap. So we are just about to start our qualifying lap, and we just missed the apex on that last corner, which is going to cost us at least a couple of hundredths of a second as we go down the straight and prepare for the turn one, as we just brake very late. And this is a very long right-hander which keeps on tightening, and as you can see my tires just beat the tarmac very late there. I had to adjust my steering angle a little bit. Now you have to be careful to not drift too wide on the exit of this corner and keep the traction as you try to get the power down as early as you can. You can use that method once again to get out of this hairpin as you head onto this very fast section of corners, as you just do this one in 6th gear, and then a little bit of a tap on the brakes, shifting down into 4th gear, and this time a harder braking period as you go down into 2nd gear. I know that some people actually like to do it on 3rd, and maximizing the throttle application once again as we head into this snail section. And it is very important to not lose the back end, as every kilometer per hour is going to be very important as you head down this straight. I know I tightened the trajectory a little bit too much maybe on the exit of that corner. As we now relax and wait for the 150 meter mark, I broke just after that board and still managed to miss the apex. As you can see, I'm 6/10 up on my previous lap time, so I could post a very quick lap, but I decided to lift the throttle as I was aiming for 11th place, as I could start on the mediums and benefit from the tire glitch, the tire wear glitch, to counteract some of the assist users, because I had from practice that I could take not only the mediums very far, but I could also be very quick with them. So this leads us to a very promising race. So here we are at the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix, the round 3 of the COR Championship, the Chicane Online Racing League. And as you can see, the skies are clear. There is not a cloud in the distance, which is going to make for some great racing in a track that has quite a lot of tire wear, which is going to make for a great diversity of tire strategies. As we now move onto the grid, the drivers look ready, so let's join them in the cockpit. As we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix, as we get a good start compared to Brad, as we overtaking right on the straight and are now up to P11, and under braking into turn 1 we are spun around, we are facing the wrong direction, and we get a 5-second stop and go penalty for a severe collision with Rogue, as El Nabo and Rogue got involved in that collision, and we are all of us are occupying the last positions. As you can see, I tried to slow down the footage, and in my opinion, of course I might be wrong, but Ash Bandicoot was a bit too slow on the entry of the corner, and that caused a domino effect. I was already braking when this clip starts. I'm already diminishing my speed, and it was still not enough to avoid Rogue. So there was definitely someone going too slow for that corner. But yeah, we have to deal with that. So that's racing sometimes. I'm not saying everyone was slow on purpose. Everyone gets their own rhythm into those kind of situations. It is a very chaotic first lap for sure, but nevertheless we are catching up to the pack as we are now only 1 second behind Joe M91, the first timer in this league, occupying the Renault. And we are catching up to him fairly quickly as Shady is in a battle with Frozen Luffy and Brad, I believe, for P8, as we are now approaching the end of the Sector 1. And on the airpin, as you'll see, we will have a much better brakes, much better. We can brake much later than Joe, and he goes wide on entry of this corner, and he will lock up his tires quite a bit, allowing us to go for the inside line and brake early to try to go for a switchback, as I give him the space required, I believe. And I am now side by side into this snail section. Under braking, I can brake later once again and get the move done. A very clean move in my opinion. I think I gave him the space required for him to race me, and I'm very proud of that move, as now we are at the start of lap 5, and I already pulled quite a bit of a gap to Joe, and I'm chasing Shady, who is getting a bit held up by the McLaren of Brad, I think. Yeah, it is Brad in P5, as we got promoted a couple of places due to some other drivers coming into the pits, as the super softs got worn out quite fast around this circuit, as we are now chasing Shady. And as you go under braking, I get caught out by the lack of braking power for some reason. I think it was due to me being on the slipstream of Shady, and it didn't look a serious of contact with Shady, but on his perspective, I gave him quite a knock. So I already talked to him, I already apologized for it. But we are now catching up to Brad now, and P5 it is for now. So we are now in lap 6, and Brad is not having the cleanest of trajectories in this complex of the left and the right handers, as I catch up to him massively as he goes wide on entry for this corner, as he may be suffering a little bit of lag because he's having quite a bit erratic trajectories in some corners, as once again I lack the braking power for some reason. I know I can brake as late as that, at least from my practice, and it is probably just the slipstream not allowing me to have as much braking power as I thought I would under those circumstances. But now I will have DRS and the slipstream over Brad, as well as the rich mix, and under braking 150 meter marker board, and we get the inside line, hit the apex nicely, and get the move done up to P4, as I believe Shady is going to get the move done as well, as Brad missed completely his a turning point. Even though he gave me space, he didn't need to go for such a wide trajectory in my opinion, and ended up losing both positions, as we are now in lap 7, and I'm in rich mix, and Shady probably has DRS, but he's not catching up to me. So he's probably running higher wings than me, even though I now missed completely my apex, and we were going side by side with Shady for that last lap had he not come into the pits. So we are now promoted into the top 3, as Speed Killer is also into the pits, as well as White Scream Jamie, I believe. So Shizzle is the only one of the front runners who has not pit yet, as he started on his set of soft tires. And we are followed by Alnabu, who also got a very good recovery drive following me through the field, as we are very comfortable with this set of tires, as we practiced a lot together. And Shizzle eventually comes into the pits, and I inherit the lead after being last, which is quite... It was quite satisfying for me, which means that I still have the pace even on quite worn out mediums, but now Speed Killer is going to have much fresher soft tires, so we will have superior traction on top of my damaged front wing. Just take a look at these mirrors. He's very fast compared to me, and I picked that opportunity to dive into the pits as I was not going to benefit anything from having a battle with him. I just pulled off a Hamilton for good measure as I dive into the pits for a set of intermediates. Looking back on it, I would change to a set of softs just to get more flexibility, if that is a word, on my strategy. But I went onto the medium compound tires and I got held up for 5 seconds due to my penalty, and I was feeling comfortable even with the damage front wing. So I had the idea to ask the pit crew to not change it, but I forgot. So that is even more time added to my pit, and more time lost to my rivals, and I'm already 12 seconds down the road to Shady, as I was faster than him at one point, and he is probably getting worn soft tires, though I don't even need to catch up to him for much longer, as he just retired for following maybe some incident with Brad. I don't know who was racing him at that point, as we are now starting lap 12 and some other drivers are coming out of the pits. This time out it is Ash Bandicoot coming out on a fresh set of medium tires as we go into the turns 2 and 3 and 4. We will have cold tires, so I may be allowed to pull off something, and I didn't need that because that just happened, which was quite funny. I was quite confused at the time about what happened, as we have Brad out of the racetrack, some kind of incident from him causing some yellow flags, but nothing too much serious, as I think Juno retired from the session for some reason, as I caught it correctly on the bottom of our screens, as now Ash Bandicoot is going to have the DRS and is going side by side with me into turn 1. I gave him the space required, I think, but I still hold the inside line, and that allowed me to come right back at him. I don't think I closed the door at him aggressively. I think it was just a natural understeer on that corner, and we retained our position as we are now under virtual safety car conditions. And as we go on the restarts, we are getting attacked by Ash Bandicoot. Even though we have the inside line, we overshot the corner, and he will go side by side with me, and we'll have the trajectory advantage into this last corner. I have to back out from the move and leave to try to get back on him on another lap, as now I will have DRS and the slipstream and rich mix, as well as I am underfueled when compared to the amount of fuel I need to get to the end of this race. And I wasn't able to get back at him, but once again Ash Bandicoot with the lag moment. I don't know what happened there, but it just keeps teleporting onto the back of my car when he is in front of me. So yeah, that is very odd, but now that allowed him to get DRS once again, and it's attacking me on this straight, and he will be well in front of me even before the braking zone, and he will get P6 from me. So now we dive onto the pits once again for a set of super soft tires, and I will try to go. I know I'm fast with the mediums. I managed to fight with the soft drivers when I was running mediums. So now with the super soft tires, I'm expecting to be very, very quick and probably even make up some positions, as maybe some of the soft runners may need a pit stop, because depending on driving style, some drivers may need or not a pit stop, as I am now posting purple sectors and I'm on the back of Frozen Luffy, and is not getting the best of trajectories there, as I have a better grip, as I just go for the outside on that right-hander, which turns on the inside of this double apex left-hander, and get the move done quite cleanly. Quite a beautiful move, if I can say so myself, as we are now in lap 22 and widescreen Jamie with the fastest lap of the race so far, as I'm still being chased by Frozen Luffy, as I think that Ash Bandicoot came into the pits for a set of super soft tires, so it will have a couple of laps fresher super soft tires, as I just posted the fastest lap of the race so far, and I was trying to catch up to El Nabo and pulling out from Ash Bandicoot, who was catching up to me at around 3/10 per lap, as we just saw. But under braking, I carried too much speed under this corner, and I just dipped some wheels onto the grass, and I spun out. And maybe I cannot hold my position, and I lose my position to Ash Bandicoot, as that drifting incident cost me a little bit of tire wear, and on top of that, he has fresher tires than me, so I was not able to catch up to him. So it will be once again P7 for us, as Speed Killer just won the race. He was very fast the whole weekend, and clearly deserved win for him. And yeah, I was not able to improve on my 7th place. As you can see, the results now, the podium positions were completed by Shizzle and Widescreen Jamie, so a double podium from the Scuderia Ferrari, which is very good to see, as we finished P7 for the 3rd race in a row, which is quite disappointing, as I knew I had the pace to get a much better result had I not get involved in some incidents. But well, we have to deal with it and hope for better luck next time. So as we move now to the championship standings, we have a new leader in Shizzle with 44 points, followed by Speed Killer and Billy Greenham, who have 43 and 41 points respectively. Then there is a 10-point gap to the 4th place of Juno, who is 5 points ahead of Homer2B and Widescreen Jamie, who are tied with 25 points. Then we have a tie for 7th in the championship between Ruben, who registered his 3rd 7th place finish in a row, and Ash Bandicoot, both with 18 points. And then with 15 points we have El Nabo and Juno, both occupying 9th place, followed by Soy Good and Rogue. Then in 13th place we have another tie between Enzin and Frozen Luffy, with only 2 points scored by each of them up to now, followed by the last of the point scorers, Shady, who only has 1 point so far. Then, still to record a point, we have Softblock, Brad, Crockett, and both of the Renault drivers. For the constructors, we have a new leadership in Ferrari, who scored 69 points so far after a great display from both of their drivers in this race. Next we have Force India, Toro Rosso, Manor and Williams occupying the remaining top 5 positions, with 2nd and 5th separated by only 5 points. After a 23-point gap, we find Red Bull in 6th, who have another 13-point gap to Mercedes and Sauber, who are tied for 7th place in the championship. Then in 9th we have Haas with only 2 points scored so far, followed by Renault, who are the only constructor to not have any points registered up to now. So this is it for today's episode. Next up we'll have the Russian Grand Prix, which is obviously going to be a good race since we have a very competitive league. So hope to see you guys there and have a wonderful day.